Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hey, babies. Hi, everyone. What's up? How's it going?
You enjoying that trail mix over there?
It's the worst. You're right. I've gone on a diet again.
I mean,
not during the cruise, but I went on a diet in general.
Football's coming back up. Yeah.
Football's coming back up. I don't want Smoot to call me roly-poly. Trying to lose some weight before Game 1 v. Jacksonville. I don't mind being a little roly-poly for the preseason games, but when I like to be in my fighting weight when we get to Game 1, Week 1.
I do have to say, for Smoot, that's like the perfect southern like
roly-poly.
It's not offensive, but it hurts. It's a stab.
Stuck with me for a year and a half. He calls me fat, and he's fat, and he's calling me fat. It's ridiculous.
It
worked though.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of "Oh, bless your heart" when you know somebody's just an idiot.
Yeah, I don't like being shamed. He got me.
Got you.
So I'm on a diet, and I didn't eat lunch today. I came in here. I was late getting in here, and our vending machine doesn't offer a lot of dietary things as most vending machines would.
Yeah,
not complaining about it. They have a lot of wonderful snacks in there, but ones I'm not partaking in these days. They do have a trail mix though, and that feels like all right. It's raisins and peanuts and sunflower seeds, and you always make fun of me because I used to get the old man cookies out of there. Now I get the trail mix.
That's right.
The trail mix is terrible. It's the worst trail mix possible.
I want to explain.
And every time I eat it, you're the only person eating that because it's terrible and everybody knows.
I want to explain to people. Trail mix in general, I think, is actually like a nice little in between. It is not the healthiest thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world by far, right?
It's still fruits and nuts. I mean, they didn't dump sugar.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
This one that we have at our vending machine here at work is literally peanuts, raisins, sunflower seeds.
Almonds. There's some almonds.
There's and almonds.
A few. Select few
there's
almonds.
Not a lot, though.
Right. They know the cost analysis on that.
No M&Ms, no dried fruit, no other just pop of sweetness. It is the worst trail mix. No yogurt covered peanuts. It is by far the worst trail mix ever. But they also know it's the only healthy option in there. So the only healthy option. So people like you are going to buy it if they're
I bought
in a pinch.
Yeah, it's my Tom Brady moment. I'll just suck this down because that's what I'm going to eat. I got to eat something. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy by the end of the show.
By far terrible. It's the worst trail mix ever.
I would like to start today by mentioning Nikki Jabala of the Washington Post, who didn't publicize that she was ill. She's done a terrific job covering the Washington Commanders for the last few years. Came from Denver, where she covered the Denver Broncos for a number of years. Very good reporter. Very well respected by the organization. Gets a lot of scoops with them. And I like Nikki personally a lot. I've gotten to, it's a small group of people that cover the team constantly, and so we spend a lot of time together. She spends more time with the people who are there literally all the time in the media group, so that doesn't count really me as much anymore, but I see her at least twice a week now, and I like her very much. And during OTAs, while we were out at a practice, I didn't know this, but she wasn't really publicizing her wellness.
Yep.
I saw her, and it was clear when I saw her that something was going on, right? It was obvious, just the way she looked. So I just sent her a note being like, I don't want to infringe, but obviously, you have something's going on, and I just wanted to say I hope you're well.
Yep.
And she wrote back to me, it's not a secret, and this is what's going on, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some kind of rare cancerous condition. She's a young woman. And so I just wrote her back saying, I hope everything works out and hope to see you at camp. And so I was very pleased today to see a tweet that she put out of herself ringing the bell, which is always the symbol of I beat it. Yep. Everybody remember Ron Rivera famously did that, and everybody made a big deal when Ron Rivera finally got to ring the bell. There was no more treatments. Same thing for her. And I want to give her a lot of credit too, because she doesn't look her best because she's been doing cancer treatments, and she put a picture of herself up. And I just wanted to say publicly, I am so glad to see that. Yeah. And I'm so glad that hopefully this is the worst of it's over for you. And hopefully you'll be back and healthy. And I know what it's like to stand out in the sun in Washington, D.C. 5 days a week. It's, we've had a lovely summer of 70-degree temperatures mainly.
Has been pretty manageable this year.
Yeah. In the middle of July, typically this could be the, oh my God, I can't breathe weather, which may still be coming in a couple of weeks, but it hasn't been so far. But, knowing that that's probably coming, someone who's like Rivera had to deal with it, getting over that type of treatment and what it does to your body. I'm just happy to see that she's back and she's going to be on the sideline and reporting on the team. And we're a kind of a small little family. And I was so glad to see that tweet that she's, gotten through whatever she's gotten through. And hopefully this will be it and she'll just get better.
Yes.
So hopefully, I wanted to say that to her.
Yeah, happy to see that.
Yeah, I was too. And so maybe next week we'll invite her on to, I don't know, talk much about that experience, but get her thoughts on the team as we get ready for training camp. So I was happy to see that. All right. More fun news is it's slow. We got a week to go before football starts.
Yep.
I'd like to thank Bernard Pollard for helping turn Baltimore sports radio into a 3-hour affair today. And the Orioles are probably like, God, for once.
Yeah, they pulled,
for crying out loud.
They pulled the Commanders move on them.
Yeah.
Orioles are like, come on,
things are
man.
going good. Let's just say something crazy about Lamar and see what happens. And Bernard Pollard, who used to play for the Ravens.
I'm sure like Lockenfora and Vinny and everyone else up there, though, are going, oh, man, we don't get a lot of these. They get a lot of that down there in Washington, but we don't get a lot of these.
We also haven't had a quarterback of that caliber in a very long time, and we haven't had someone go at him, and a former Super Bowl champion player, albeit not the star of the team, but was on Super Bowl teams, went at him.
Yeah.
Went completely at him, and Lamar responded to him.
Yes.
This is one of those things where I would say to the players who do want to respond, not that I would dismiss, doing it, it's Bernard Pollard who said it, not Pat Mahomes.
Sure.
You don't have to respond, and in fact, most people wouldn't even notice Bernard Pollard said the things he said had Lamar Jackson not responded to him, but he did.
Before you get into his comments, I just want to say, I think this is the one that just finally set Lamar off. Lamar has always heard this criticism.
Oh, I've been saying it for years. It's the same criticism.
From all angles, and I'm sure he actually is very much at peace with not responding to people, but I think because it came from a Ravens player. Or a former Ravens player, I should say, that he's like, all right, gloves are off.
It's true.
I can take this from everybody, but come on, man. Like, you should have my back here.
Yeah.
And it set them up. I mean,
now they win a lot up there. They've won a lot.
Yeah.
They've won Super Bowls in the last 20 years. They're typically in the playoffs. It's actually rare when they're not.
Yep.
This is the best quarterback. I'll be the first to say that. This is the best quarterback they've had.
Sure.
I do see massive limitations in him, which I've talked about over and over and over and over. I would be same way. I'd be concerned about making him highest paid quarterback in the league, which he's in line for.
Yeah.
Because these deals end up like that or around it, when I don't think he's that accurate of a passer, and I think that's a problem. And I think it's actually amazing that he has not suffered more injuries through the first course of his career because of how much he runs. And I do feel like at some point it's going to be a problem, and his accuracy is a problem, but Pollard went at it in a different way. So it started Tuesday, according to a recap of this, because Ryan Clark was on TV, and he said that Jackson is among the list of top 10 quarterbacks, right? And believed he should be, which I guess they did a survey of unnamed executives.
It was the ESPN top 10.
Name them. And he's in it.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time arguing that.
Yeah.
I think Pat Mahomes is better. I think Josh Allen is better. I think Aaron Rodgers right now is better. I don't know how you don't put Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, on that list. So he's probably not the top 5. But I don't think I'm putting Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold I guess you'd have to figure out what you think of Deshaun right now. I don't know.
Deshaun's on there.
Right? He's on the top 10.
I forget who got voted, who is not on it, that set off everyone.
Set off everybody
talking. Too? I forget.
I assume Stafford. I'd have to look. I assume Stafford's on it because he just won a Super Bowl.
Probably.
Probably on it. But I'm not stupid enough to think I'd take Jimmy Garoppolo over him or Trey Lance at this point or Justin Fields at this point or Tua or Zach Wilson for that matter, who I think has a big upside. I wouldn't put him ahead of him, but so I think Lamar falls in. I don't think there's any argument that he falls in this category. He is uniquely skilled and different than most players. And down here, we take someone like him in a second.
He was not in it. That's why.
He was not in it.
It was Rodgers.
Lamar wasn't in it. Okay, so name it.
Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, Brady, Joe Burrow, Stafford, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, who do you take issue with that he's not above? Dak?
Yeah, Dak by far.
So, name the top 5 again. Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen,
Brady, and Burrow.
I don't know how you could put him ahead of any of them right now.
Agree with you.
I guess you could argue Burrow's only played 2 seasons.
Sure.
But he was in a Super Bowl. And we're not questioning accuracy and making the throws and all that stuff.
Sure.
And considering, what everyone thought the ceiling was of the Bengals, I think he deserves the credit for it.
Yeah.
I think we'll see what happens from here forward, but whatever. I don't have an issue with the top 5.
Yep.
Name the bottom 5 of the 10.
Stafford.
Okay, he just won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback now. He owns all sorts of records.
He was excellent, yeah.
He was excellent, so it's hard not to pick
Herbert.
him. Okay, so, I personally, if given the choice, which one do you want? Because you always have to do this.
Yeah.
Which one would you want? I would take Herbert, mainly because of his passing skills.
Sure.
Clearly, he'll never run the ball the way Lamar Jackson has, but outside of his passing skills. So, as an unnamed non-executive, I also would agree I wouldn't put him above Justin Herbert at this point, because I think we can all see that he has passing ability that is very rare in the NFL. So I would put Herbert there too. Okay. Although I would hear an argument about it because Lamar's had a lot more success than Herbert has. Herbert hasn't played a playoff game yet. I know it's only been a couple of years, but he hasn't.
Sure.
Okay.
Then Wilson.
I don't know how you argue he's better than Wilson right now, being that Wilson's been in 2 Super Bowls and MVP candidates and all that type of stuff. So I also, again, and similarly, because of the passing skill, it's hard not to put Russell Wilson. I don't argue that either.
Yep. And then the next 2 are Watson and Prescott.
All right. So with Watson, I don't
think Watson should have been on this list. I'm sorry.
Why? Because of the news cycles?
Well, he hasn't played. He hasn't played.
He hadn't played in a year.
So how do you rank a quarterback that hasn't played in a year? And honestly, let's be real here. We haven't seen what he looks like. I think he should have been left off this list, period.
So I would have put Lamar over him for now, with the asterisk of if Deshaun Watson looks like he did 2 years ago in Houston when he's playing for Cleveland, whenever that may be, then we can readjust this. But right now, skill for skill, though, I also, and I think it's a big if with Watson, he does look like the player he was a couple of years ago. I don't have an argument with that. If you're going to take all the outside off the field stuff out of the equation just for a moment, I know it's hard to do with him, but just for a moment and just go, okay, if all the stuff with the massages didn't happen, right, would you put Deshaun Watson ahead of Lamar Jackson? I would.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Now, it's too complicated to say that. You can't, but I would. Okay, so the only one then really that I would take issue with if I'm Lamar Jackson is Dak.
Yeah.
But that said, anyone who's going to tell me that Lamar's a better passer than Dak, you're crazy.
Sure.
You're not. He's not.
If we talk, though, about a quarterback that's going to give you a better chance to win on Sundays, I think you get into a full-blown debate. Though.
Yes.
Like a full-blown...
And I actually think Cowboys fans would agree with that. Because I think there's a lot of Cowboys fans that see this as not the right thing, even though I was the one advocating if they don't want to sign him, I'd take him as pre-Wentz. I'd take him here in a heartbeat, and let him be mad at them for the rest of the time and play for us, because I do think he's an elite quarterback. But I'll hear an argument out over who's better, and that's just probably a subjective thing, because not unlike Lamar, they've both been in the playoffs, and Dak hasn't done anything that, it wasn't his fault they lost in the playoff games, but he hasn't gotten anywhere either.
Right. No,
so if it's all about results, Herbert hasn't played a playoff game, and Dak has not won any big ones yet.
Yep.
And last year in the playoffs made a massive mistake that ended a playoff game, and that's really on him. You can blame a clock operator all you want. It's really on him.
I would also say for Herbert, Wilson, Watson, and Prescott, though, they don't have MVPs to their names either.
That's right. So, no, I think he belongs in the discussion about this, but I don't take massive issue with him not being in it.
Sure.
Because all of those players are better passers than him. All of them. Period. All of them are.
Right.
Okay? So this is what Pollard said Tuesday night after Ryan Clark said, Ryan Clark argued he should be among the top 10, but probably the bottom half, right? And then Pollard said this.
Clark's quote on this, by the way, was he's not a system quarterback because he is the system, which I actually really like that quote.
Yeah.
But, anyways.
Also, I will say, again, I've credited Greg Roman for a lot of what's happened up there.
Right.
I think they built an offense that works for him.
Yep.
And sustained it. Like, the Shanahans built one for RG3 that worked for a season. I don't think they thought it was going to continue working.
Yes.
And then RG3 got crazy and was like, well, I don't play that way anyway. And they're like, you kind of do. And he's like, well, I don't. And that's where everything spiraled, was the whole disagreement of what kind of quarterback are you going to be when you come back.
That's right.
And I think Baltimore, I got to give them credit. They have figured out a way to keep him at an MVP caliber level, even though there are clearly shortcomings in his game. But they figured it out, and partially it's because he is maybe, outside of Michael Vick, the most unique running quarterback we've ever seen.
Right.
He's devastating talent that way. All right. This is what Pollard said Tuesday. He said, he's definitely a top 10 talent, but as far as a top 10 quarterback, I don't see it. I believe he should get paid by the Ravens and should get top dollar. So I think he has fallen where I've fallen on this. They kind of have to pay him. There's kind of no choice. I've been talking about this for 2 years. They're in a quandary with him because they have to pay him this way. He is a top 10 talent, but I agree with him. I'm not sure I see him as a top 10 quarterback.
Yep.
Because you have to be able to do certain things to win in the end. He's proven he hasn't been able to do it yet. That one that happened there, which I actually don't think is that controversial to say, didn't get a response. But then he went on Wednesday and said no top receiver will ever come there while he's there. Plenty of receivers have been available to get in the offseason while he's been starting, but nobody wants to go. They give him respect, but they don't want to play with him. He's good. He's just not able to make the throws. I think that's a fair criticism.
I mean, look at
all these crazy receivers that were available. Any of them clamoring to go play with the former MVP?
Well,
I don't see it. You don't see Devontae Adams screaming and yelling going to Baltimore. You didn't see Tyreek Hill demanding to go to Baltimore over Miami. You don't see any of that happening.
You don't have to go far. Look at his so-called best friend Hollywood Brown,
who left,
got traded,
and everyone knows that this was part of it.
Yeah.
Not entirely, but because they're friends. This is a Brad John thing, those two, where he was like, hey, we're buddies and all, but I don't think you can get it done the way I need to get it done.
Right.
Now he's with Kyler, and we'll see how it goes, right? Jackson, though, got pissed. And his response was, you sound dumb as you know what. We'll wait and see if one signs. Of which, Pollard replied, we'll wait and see if one signs.
Yeah.
I mean, he is in year whatever it is now, and they haven't been able to recruit someone to come there to be his number one.
Sure.
Now, would A.J. Brown have gone there if it wasn't the Eagles? Like, let's say Baltimore said, we'll give you the big money, we'll have you come here, we'll trade with Tennessee to get him here. Would he have been just as happy to go there as he did with Hurts? Maybe.
Right.
You don't know.
Don't know.
Did Tyreek Hill, who clearly wanted to leave, but sounds like he wanted to go to Miami, would he have been happy going there? We don't know.
Right.
Adams clearly wanted to go to a very specific place. Not there.
Yep.
There's a lot of receivers out there, especially this year, that were available. And you didn't hear I got to get there. I'm the guy that's going to take them over the top, because if they just had me, things would be different.
Right.
So why did this get under Lamar's skin?
I think it's one of his own. That's why. Because
they're kind of the protect the shield Ravens, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
Our area is accustomed to guys will take shots at people.
Yes.
I mean, we had D'Angelo Hall in the booth last year.
Of course.
And what I loved about him was he didn't hold back at all.
Right.
At all. If he had something, I don't know if the team liked it or not, but and there were even times I looked at him when he was saying something, I'm like, wow, this is the team broadcaster saying it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to get in your way.
Yeah,
but we're accustomed to it. Yeah. Our fan base is like, you don't say that about our guys. Our fan base is like, yeah, you do say that about our guys.
Well, and to be fair, we
demand excellence.
Well, and to be fair, the Commanders organization hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt like the Ravens has.
That's the other thing. They are winning a lot, and so it's hard.
I mean,
they are consistently good. Last year they had a million injuries, and they were still kind of right there.
They were in first place early December.
Right.
I mean,
I remember it was going to crumble because they kept winning all those close games. They kept winning all those 1-2 point games, went their way, and I'm like, that never
But you
lasts.
and I both know Ravens fans, the complaints are never about really anything. It's general talk about, where they could improve.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're the actual...
They nitpick, but they don't go after it.
They are literal trust the process.
Yeah.
Because their process has worked.
Yeah. They had in the past with Ozzie drafted really well. Like they were drafting Hall of Fame players one after another after another. They had some blind spots, like at quarterback for that matter, like Bowler turned out to not work out.
Sure.
And they've had a lot of trouble with the position of receiver through the years.
Pretty much since they got here.
Since the beginning of time. Their best receivers are guys they brought in from other places. They've never been able to homegrown for whatever reason. They haven't been able to do that. So they have blind spots like every team does. But this is... So you think it's just because somebody who wore the jersey said it? Because honestly, again, I will reiterate, unless Jackson made a deal of it, nobody would have paid any attention to it. Because who's turned Bernard Pollard into the guy who argues with Stephen A. on First Take? Nobody.
Sure.
This would have completely just gone into the ether. Nobody would have heard about it. And nobody really, I don't even think, would have cared except for, maybe Lockett 4 up in Baltimore, seeing it, saying it, and then asking for a reaction. But nobody would have really cared. Because Lamar went after him, now it's a deal.
Yeah.
And I actually don't think he's wrong in his criticisms of him at all. He may not like hearing it, Lamar, but he's a top 10 talent. He's not a top 10 quarterback. I agree. No top receiver will ever come there. I don't know about will ever, but they haven't yet.
Right. I
don't know. You tell me, is he wrong?
I don't think he's wrong. I do think, though, that's what set him off, though. What set him off was come on, man, we're supposed to be this culture of, you support us. He knows that here's the thing, too. Lamar knows he's a polarizing player. He has been since before he was being drafted, right?
Well, he went as the last pick in the first round.
Right.
Because people did not believe he would be this.
Bill Polian famously said, I would draft him as a wide receiver. And they basically got him fired, by the way.
Wide receiver, a running back.
Yeah.
Mel did the same thing with him.
Yep.
He's like, this guy's going to be he's clearly got a place in the NFL, but it's not going to be as a quarterback. Said the same things about him as he said about Tebow.
Yep.
Turned out to be right about Tebow, and really wrong. I think wrong about Lamar Jackson. But the overarching problem with him has been his accuracy and his ability to make throws when it's necessary. And I don't think that that's a obtuse criticism of him. I said the same thing about Josh Allen, which was true the first 2 years of his career. He somehow fixed his mechanics and became a very good, accurate passer. Good on him.
Right.
Look, Josh Allen looked like the exact same player, just not quite as fast as Lamar Jackson. Really a running quarterback, really a backyard quarterback, but he became a very accurate one as his career has progressed. And so I'll take all my criticisms back. He clearly is one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I can't say that about Lamar Jackson. I think he's an incredible talent. I think they win a lot of games because of his talent. But I do think when push comes to shove, he needs to get better as an accurate passer. I've yet to see it. And I don't know what he said there that was actually controversial about it.
I just think it was the Raven on Raven crime there.
Rare.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because they've had a lot of stars who are outspoken who don't do this.
That's correct.
You don't see T. Sizzle doing it. Ray Lewis has been on platforms. He doesn't attack the team.
Sure, Ed Reed
doesn't do it.
Other people, but not really that organization. You know who I need to weigh in on this because I think it would solidify the debate is Steve Smith.
Steve Smith
played for them for a while,
and he doesn't hold back.
He'll
say
hold
anything.
Back. He kind of is ingrained with some of these wide receivers.
This is a good day on NFL Network for him because he gets teed up on this, and then he gets to give his opinion. So I'd like to hear.
And he's
no, player.
That's right.
It's 2022.
That's right.
Let's hear what he's going to say.
I think
about
Steve
that.
Smith would probably be the voice here, where I would say whatever you say, I'll take as gospel because I think everyone has an opinion about Lamar, but you played there. You probably know what some of these wide receivers actually think of him. What does he say? So that's what I would say.
He's a strangely unique player because the truth is 25 teams would sign him tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
With the same problem, knowing that going in.
Right.
It's not like most other quarterbacks where you have an argument about what's the ceiling on him.
Offensive coordinators would be kept up at night how they're going to use
How
him.
are you going to do it? How are you going to do it?
The opposite.
It's the opposite, right? It's the opposite. Like we have what we hope is an upgraded quarterback for us, but we know he can't do the things that Lamar does. So our team would take Lamar Jackson tomorrow in a heartbeat and figure it out after you get here. And that's what the reality is. I actually think him saying he's a top 10 talent, but not a top 10 quarterback, until proven otherwise, I agree with that. I don't think Bernard Pollard's wrong. I think he's actually spot on.
Right.
Oh, Jackson's got a lot to prove, especially if he does not sign a deal before this year.
No, of course.
That also remains odd because the Ravens have publicly said, we'll sign you. We're waiting for you to come to us, say you're ready to do it. Why he hasn't said he's come to them, he's ready to do it, I don't understand it.
Right.
And if this type of stuff continues and he doesn't have a big year passing again, it's not going to get any better for him at the negotiating table. And then they're going to have make a serious decision about him. I have felt like all along that if he doesn't improve his accuracy, he's got the Ravens in a really tough pickle because I think what Bernard Pollard said is probably what their front office thinks, and probably what Harbaugh thinks. He's a really good player. He's a really good teammate. Everybody really likes him. Marketing-wise, he's amazing. You know, like there ain't nobody who can run the ball.
We love
like him.
Lamar. Everyone loves
He's
Lamar.
He's an incredible talent. But when push comes to shove and he needs to make a couple 3rd and 14 passes, you're not feeling like he's Burrow or Rodgers or Mahomes or Allen or someone like that.
Right.
Oh boy, Baltimore getting all fidgety with one another. They want to see Lamar win. I think that's all that is, actually. Some of those old players, they don't attack people because, to your point, they consistently are good. They may not have won Super Bowls recently, but they consistently are good. Yeah. They're going to him going, show us you got what it takes to do what we did. Mm-hmm. Because you supposedly are the best quarterback we've ever had. So, okay, because we've won with Flacco and Dilfer. Let's see how aren't you supposed to be better than both of them by far?
Right.
Who would argue Flacco or Dilfer's better than him?
Right.
They're not. Oh, I love it. Baltimore's finally turned to the dark side. I love it.
One thing you didn't get to that I love is that Pollard had one of those moments with, I think, the 49ers on Hard Knocks where he was like dancing in the locker room.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And his dancing was, we'll call it twerking-esque.
And did a split.
Right. And Lamar just torched
Jumped
him.
on him. Yeah.
And I'm just
His quote was, I only thought cheerleaders did the splits, not the players too.
To which, nothing gets deleted. The internet is forever.
That's right.
The internet is undefeated. And if you're Pollard, you have nothing to say to that because
you can't respond to that.
He's kind of right.
Yeah. It's the old Herm Edwards, don't push send.
Uh-huh.
Don't push send. You can't ever get it back.
Right. And Lamar, I think, also said something along the lines of like, you looked like you were waiting to do that for a while.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
He eviscerated him after that point.
So this is a big year for Lamar Jackson. Deal or no deal? I think he's got now people on his own side going, show me. It's time. Your running highlights are wonderful. But let's see you win the big ones, and let's see you do it with your arm. Let's see it.
I'll be very interested to see. And as a Commanders fan and season ticket holder, I don't have a lot of room to talk here. But that organization, Ozzy's not there anymore.
He is. He's like in a different position.
But he's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's overseeing.
He's in a legacy position.
Correct.
Ozzy's not running the show. They missed the playoffs last year. Their division has a little bit of a changing of the guard.
The division's weird right now.
Yeah, the Bengals seem to be on top but aren't going for it, but the Browns are going for it. The Steelers, give them time and they'll reload.
Yeah,
I just think
they're like Baltimore. They're consistent.
Yeah.
Give them some time. If Pickett turns out to be good, they'll be fine. If he doesn't, they're going to go get a veteran quarterback very quickly because they have the setup of a really good, like as usual, they're set up to be good if they get the right parts in place.
I don't know. Is this the beginning of the organization getting a little squirrely? That's
on
him.
That's
all I'm asking.
Well, I don't blame him to be squirrely on him because he won't take the contract for whatever reason right now. And that is weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Like this same thing we had this with Sheriff where I'm like, why aren't you taking our money?
Right. Yeah.
Why don't you want our money?
Yeah. Right.
Like it's the same money.
Yep.
Why don't you want it? We like you, obviously.
Right.
All right. Let me take a quick break. Bray Watch the Show, ESPN 630, Sports Capital. And we're doing Throwback Thursday for 1973 to celebrate the Orioles' longest win streak since 1999, which stands at 10 games right now. They're not playing tonight after they swept the Cubs in a 2-game set at Wrigley. The longest streak that the organization has ever had happened in 1973 as the Orioles. 14 games, which is why we're doing 1973. The franchise's record of 14 games is also matched in 1916 when they were the St. Louis Browns.
That's right.
Okay? And if the Orioles, I've got Callow pre-show, on the record saying he will do this, because as anyone who listens to the show knows, I like to make Throwback Thursday as old as humanly possible, which is typically I need a Washington baseball thing to happen.
Usually,
to force something from the 1920s to be played. 1916 is also the other year that they had a 14-game win streak. So if they sweep the Rays over the weekend, it'll be at 13. Then they'll go to an all-star break. So we won't know whether they'll get to 14 or not. Next Thursday, Throwback Thursday, will be 1916 if they're on the precipice of tying that. But it would take a sweep of the Rays in Tampa to even allow this to happen.
Sure. But I've put it on the table that I will forge for 1916 music wherever it exists.
I can't wait.
if they sweep the Rays this weekend. They would have to go for win.
Have to check the lyrics on those songs to see if they're contemporary whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely. I would have to lyric check them.
Famous blackface group put out,
I mean, you're not joking. The one time we had to do that, I had to look, and some of the lyrics were less than savory.
Yeah.
How about this, though? If the Orioles were to somehow sweep the Rays this weekend, they would then have to go for the record-tying 14th win against the Yankees
next Yankees?
Friday.
Let's do it. I love it.
That's a big game feel for July.
It is.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
So they would be off like everyone else is.
The weirdest part is they would be on a 13-game win streak and 17 games back of the Yankees when they play them.
Right.
That's the craziest part of that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's funny.
Yeah, they would have to play the Yankees, that one at Camden Yards, though. So I got to think.
That'd be quite a crowd,
If they're going for win 14, I got to think Camden Yards actually
you're going to get a crowd for that.
Their biggest crowd that wasn't opening day, essentially. So.
Yeah, well, they may be selling a lot of tickets for that anyway.
Yeah.
Just because they're on this crazy win streak,
That's
and
right.
it's the Yankees, right? So that's
exactly.
always a fun homestand to have. News here, as I talked about the other day, this show is now on YouTube, or at least the first hour of it. I think eventually we're going to put all 3 hours, but right now we're dabbling in YouTube. So static shots of me talking with some accoutrement graphics are on YouTube.
I'll pull the curtain back for a second. We're waiting for our capture card to get to some more recording, and then we'll be live streaming elsewhere as well. So that's coming.
Oh, we're very modern now. All right. And then I found out today that we have a TikTok account.
That's right.
That I was completely unaware of.
Neither was I.
I didn't even know that existed. But because we're finally pulling clips from this show and adding video, we could join the, Bernard Pollard world of putting things out there.
That's right.
And you found out that we did one clip the other day where I made fun of Pittsburgh for being sad about Heinz Field not being the name of the stadium because it's a ketchup company, and I don't know why you would be just so enamored and so distraught that that's not the name of your stadium anymore. And I guess this, mystery TikTok account that we have got comments about it.
A lot of them, actually.
Who knew how many Pittsburgh people were listening to this show or paying attention to that?
Well, somehow the TikTok algorithm
got it up to Pittsburgh.
Spit our clip out to some Steelers fans, allegedly.
So let's see. Let me read you some of the comments that we got on me ripping Pittsburgh for being upset about that the name of their stadium is some insurance company and not a ketchup company.
That's right.
Of which I would say, who cares? Because if FedEx wasn't the name of FedEx Field and it was, I don't know, Office Depot Stadium in Landover, I frankly wouldn't care.
That's right. Yes.
No offense, FedEx.
Right. Exactly.
I still use your service, but I'm not going to cry over it.
I think we
Cap One used to be the Verizon Center.
Used to be the MCI.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me.
That's right.
I'm not. Oh God, I need to be in line with a phone company. Like, who cares?
Would counterpoint to all Pittsburgh people. You going to be mad if PNC Park isn't PNC Park anymore?
Right.
Who cares?
Right. If you're Primanti Brothers Baseball Stadium, what do you care?
They would love that more, actually.
I'd like that more too. Anyway, here's some of the comments for me ripping them for this. Heinz is a homegrown Pittsburgh company that has remained HQ'd there and hasn't left. And? What? Okay, so we're going to name the Wizards home Utz Stadium? And? What's your point?
Utz Crab Chip Stadium.
Utz Crab Chip Stadium?
It does have a nice ring to it.
Let's see, this other person. It's okay. We wouldn't expect you to understand. It didn't impact you, so you don't want to bother learning why it is impacting others. To which I would say to you, oh, man, I'm so sorry this touched a nerve with you.
Some kind of therapy group that exists now?
This one's funny. When I was a kid, someone thought it was named after Heinz Ward.
Oh, that's funny, actually. I think that's a good one, actually.
Let's see, another guy. You don't know the history of Heinz, and it shows. Oh, I do know that. You're from Pittsburgh, and they make ketchup. Ketchup universally everybody likes, and is still undefeated.
That's right.
It still doesn't have anything to do with the Steelers, and I don't care.
That's right.
Let's see. If they changed Gillette to something else, people would be protesting in the middle of Route 1. Y'all aren't fans. He's saying that if the Patriots stopped being Gillette Stadium, and it became some other...
No, they wouldn't.
They
absolutely would not.
Cape Cod Potato Chip Stadium, like anybody
Dollar
would care.
Shave Club Stadium.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? I said the same thing about the people who wrote pieces decrying Staples Center becoming Crypto.com. Staples is an office warehouse. Who cares?
That's right.
What does that have to do with the Lakers? It's the name of a stadium. And it's not a name that matters or has any link to your city.
Right.
It's an office company. This is a ketchup company. Anyway, thank you, though. I appreciate that. I do appreciate the comments, especially ones that are as ridiculous as that.
I know what clip we're posting today.
About this?
Yeah. Your rebuttal.
My rebuttal is I still can't believe you're this upset about the name of a ketchup company not adorning the side of your football stadium. Who cares? What does it matter?
I will say this. If we had local ties, I would love a Five Guys Field.
Five Guys Field's pretty good.
Would be pretty good. Ben's Chili Bowl. You could do
Ben's, DC United Field at Ben's Chili Bowl.
Oh, that'd be great. That's a good one. I actually like the sound of that one.
If Audi left, would you be that upset?
No,
that it's not Audi Field anymore. Ben's Chili Bowl.
Eastern Motors.
Welcome
Field.
to the Ben's Chili Bowl.
Yeah, right.
I'd love to hear Dave say that on TV. Welcome to Ben's Chili Bowl for today's match between DC United and Inter Miami.
Eastern Motors Field at Buzzard Point.
Eastern Motors
Where your
Field.
tickets, your credit.
How has that not happened yet? They've done everything else.
That's right.
Yeah.
What?
Paisano's pitch at DC United.
Paisano's pitch.
Yeah.
We're just giving free advertising for all the locals here.
Well, because their point is they're local. We're proud of them. It's our ketchup.
Mama Lucia's Field at Nationals Park.
Yeah. Mr. Rogers Stadium where the Penguins play. Who cares? Mr. Rogers Neighborhood is where the Penguins play.
That's actually a good nickname.
Mr. Rogers
if
Neighborhood.
They had a good Rogers, though.
They did, but it's Mr. Rogers from Pittsburgh.
Right.
Come on. I mean, come on, guys. Guys, really? Whatever. Be upset about it if you want.
Old Bay Park at Camden Yards has a nice ring to it.
Old National Bohemian Park.
Or McCormick's Park.
McCormick Park. That's pretty good.
That actually sounds proper, too.
McCormick Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody's going to be like, who's McCormick? He made spices.
You get free Old Bay if they hit 5 home runs that night or something.
Yeah. I think that in New Orleans should be the Tabasco Dome.
Oh, well, could be, Louisiana's, what's the other hot sauce that they have at every table down there? Crystal? Yeah.
Crystal?
Yeah, you do Crystal.
The Crystal Dome?
Yeah. That's got a good ring to it as well.
Mm-hmm. And the field's red now? Yeah. It'd be pretty good.
Right.
I like that. What's that weird cake that they eat in Mardi Gras?
Cake?
The Baby King
cake, yeah.
King cake.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where the Pelicans play.
Yeah.
King Cake Dome.
King Cake Dome, actually.
And they've got that weird
scary
king
looking
cake
baby.
Yeah. That walks around the stadium, takes pictures with children. And
Looks
then,
like it's going to take them.
Then the guys down the hall call him a groomer.
Oh, God. Jesus.
I don't think we're going to clip that one on TikTok, are we?
Don't clip that one.
Good joke, though.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Fortunately, they don't listen, so they don't know. Why would they listen to this?
No.
They don't stick to sports. Ever.
That's correct.
Anyway, whatever, guys.
Pittsburgh,
thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I touched a nerve for you. I actually think it's more you need to go see some therapists about why a ketchup company not being on your football stadium bothers you that much.
I mean, if the Ravens change to Domino Sugar Stadium,
that's pretty good.
Pretty good. But no one's attached. I'm pretty sure no Ravens fan's going to be mad if they change it from M&T Bank.
Well, here's the what. How is Under Armour not named one of these things up there? How's that not one of the names?
Advertising.
Under Armour Preakness, the Under Armour Preakness.
Oh, that'd be pretty good, actually.
Under Armour at Pimlico. That's a pretty good one.
Under Armour track at Pimlico.
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Home of the Skipjacks. Under Armour Stadium, home of the Skipjacks.
Jersey, by the way.
We must protect this house.
Under Armour probably doesn't spend that much money here because everyone wears Under Armour here. It is, I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying it's a significant amount of sales. They probably don't need to advertise here.
Oriole Park at Old Bay Stadium at Camden Yards is pretty good.
Well, yeah. You need something Old Bay there. It'd be the best.
I still do believe, though, like having the giant crab at Camden Yards, and every time they hit a home run, it starts snapping its claws.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good,
or
too.
It's, Oriole bird with like a mallet.
Yeah.
That's hitting it.
Yeah,
like a neon
mallet.
sign.
Yeah.
Like goes back and forth.
Yeah. What, strikeouts? Like you break it open or something?
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. We're on to something here. They don't need our help these days. They're winning.
That's actually a good one. The Oriole bird should have a giant foam mallet he walks around with.
It says Old Bay on it?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
You bonk kids with it.
Yeah.
Because it's foam. It doesn't weigh anything.
Okay. Then someone gets hurt, and then they complain.
Whatever.
Yeah. Welcome to America.
Oriole Bird is the most loved mascot in this area.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Everyone else sucks.
You don't like Slapshot? He's all right. Commanders don't have one yet.
Not yet. That's gonna get announced.
Interesting. We haven't had a conversation about that in a while. What's that going to be? Is it a hog?
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Mm-hmm. I think Oriole Bird, yeah. He's a good one.
Screech isn't old enough. He's also just a bird. No
Just
offense,
a bird.
Corey, who works across the hall, who used to be Screech.
Yeah. No. Slapshot. Everybody likes Slapshot.
Slapshot's fine, but it's not beloved. Oriole Bird beloved.
What was the G-WIZ? Remember G-WIZ? Is he still there?
G-WIZ is still there.
He is? He still do the same tricks?
Yeah.
Jump off the trampoline, dunk the ball, all that stuff?
G-WIZ is the weird, fuzzy guy. Then there's the other muscular guy that they got rid of.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, the muscular guy.
The muscular guy.
G-WIZ is the
weird,
the Muppety.
furry, yeah,
the Muppety Wizards guy.
Yeah, who
was the guy who used to do all the acrobatic stuff?
I know who you're talking about, but I forgot.
Yeah, he dressed up like Blue Man Group and did all the dunks.
Yeah, I don't know what his
What
name
happened
was.
to him? He's better than G-WIZ. Ted.
No, disagree.
No, G-WIZ is nothing burger. I like the guy who did all the acrobatic stuff and dressed like the Blue Man Group. I liked him.
G-Man.
G-Man.
What's his name?
Yeah.
That's a bad name.
Yeah. You'd be surprised to hear this, but the person in that costume was Chris Miller.
No, it wasn't.
Just kidding.
Stop it.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I mean, I'll ask this.
Fine, it was Glenn Console.
better Caps mascot, Slapshot or Winger? Because you remember Winger?
I don't remember Winger.
You don't remember Winger from back in the day?
No.
Winger is like cousin of G-WIZ.
Cousin of G-WIZ?
Yeah,
oh,
that's
like
what he
weird,
looked like. Yeah, kind of weird,
Muppety.
but he was a bird.
Oh. I like Slapshot. Everybody likes Slapshot. Who doesn't like Slapshot?
Slapshot's fine.
He's fine. He's like Brad. He's fine.
He's
Does
like
his role.
He has like a pint-sized version of himself too. That's called something else too.
Like the Caps also like to bring out dogs now too, right? Don't they make like a? Don't they have like a dog team dog?
New
now?
dog every year.
New
It's fine.
dog.
It's a good
bit.
Yeah, and it always goes to
All right.
Good
Look forward to seeing all you Pittsburgh people on TikTok later. Talk to you then.
There you go.
All right, we'll be right back. Bray West Show, ESPN 630 Sports Capital, which dates back to 1999 as their longest streak in their organization's history. The longest streak is also tied with 1916, of which Callow is going to play songs from 1916. If they are at 13 by the time we speak again next Thursday for Throwback Thursday,
right.
They only play 3 more games because the All-Star break is coming up next week.
Right.
So they have a series with the Rays in Florida this weekend. If they win all 3 of those games, Callow is agreed to play songs from 1916. He's committed to it. He feels confident it won't happen. He thinks they're going to lose a game this weekend.
Prove me wrong, though.
Prove you wrong. Who knows? They just went to Wrigley and won 2. Good for them.
The Cubs aren't that good.
I know, but the interesting part was if you keep seeing videos from there, it's like Oriole Park showed up at Wrigley Field.
Last night was actually
I know, it was crazy.
Last night there were more fans than the night before.
I know.
It was
so
awesome.
the momentum is building. Momentum's building. We'll talk about
Nation, Han.
O's Nation, Han. I don't know how this being a Baltimore show, so all the Pittsburgh people are like, yell at Baltimore show. So yell at me on TikTok later on today. Let's see. At the British Open, Cameron Young, there must be no wind there. There are 26 players at 3 under or better right now. So I guess the wind hasn't showed up in St. Andrews. Cameron Young, American, 8 under par 64. 8 under par 64. I have a feeling the Royal and H are going to screw with the hole placements tomorrow, get some of these scores to come back.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy, 2 shots back, 6 under par. Cameron Smith, 5 under par. A lot of guys at 4 under par, including the turncoat Dustin Johnson. Scotty Scheffler, 4 under par, Masters winner. Big group at 3 under par. Most everybody is done. Very few players are still on the course. Obviously, they're on British time over there. Tiger Woods, 5 over through 15. He's going to need a big day tomorrow to even make the cut.
That's right.
So all you idiots that bet on him to win the British Open, you're dumb, but whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So Tiger Woods looking like he ain't going to make it to the weekend unless he has a really, really big round tomorrow.
Exactly.
So that's what's happening over at the British Open right now. Did you see the Pat Mahomes beer ad for Coors Light?
I saw someone talking about it. I have not seen it yet.
All right, so let me give you the backdrop on this. The NFL has rules that are becoming flexible because they have direct relationships with certain things, like gambling operations, where all of a sudden players who weren't allowed to, like famously Tony Romo wasn't allowed to attend a fantasy convention in Las Vegas because one, it was in Las Vegas, and two, they didn't have direct partnerships and it was kind of perceived as gambling, so they made him not do that. Those rules are off, and so things are flexible. With alcohol companies, obviously alcohol is advertised on NFL broadcasts and all sports broadcasts forever, right? But the players are not allowed to literally drink the beer. The can or the bottle cannot go to your lips. That's the rule. Coors Light, yeah. You can advertise for them, i.e. Romo does Corona ads, right? So you can do that. And I don't know if any... I don't know if there were any other current players.
Can he drink that, though, because he's not a player anymore?
I don't believe so. Oh, I don't know. That's interesting.
But I guess if he belongs to the NFLPA still,
I don't think
maybe
he
not.
can.
Probably
right?
not. Yeah.
So that's why this was so inventive. The player, apparently they can advertise it, but they literally can't take a sip of it. Okay, so that's the rule.
All right.
So Coors Light came up with one with Pat Mahomes called the Coors Light, which is shaped like a flashlight. And he does a whole bit on it's the Coors Light, and he shows the flashlight of it.
Got it.
Never actually drinks it. Says it's an incredible light, all these things, and plays around with it. So I'd like to give Coors Light a modern golf clap for doing something that is going to go viral because it's Mahomes and them, doing something really unique. And I think if I got the commercial right, they will sell you the Coors Light in that packaging.
Of course they will.
I don't know if there's any beer actually in it, which actually would be better because I could keep it as a keepsake. The Coors Light flashlight.
I would say sell the flashlight and then like 100 of them are signed by Mahomes or something like that.
Well, then they're worth something at that point.
Yeah.
The Coors Light flashlight.
Viral. Yeah. People go crazy.
So I want to give them credit for doing that.
It's pretty good.
Good job.
It's a good bit.
There are 2 new helmets out that I thought were very cool. The Texans have a red helmet now.
Flat red helmet that I love.
That they're going to wear. And the Bengals pulled out a white helmet with the black stripes. And that one, I felt like, why no one did this before? It's one of those, oh my God, why have they never done this before?
Well, they had it. They just had to...
They've never worn it, though, right?
No, they have.
White Bengal tiger?
I'm pretty sure they have. Pretty sure they did wear it for at least 1 year or had plans to wear it. And then they pulled that rule where you could only wear one helmet all year, which was dumb.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
This thing's amazing. Because I'm assuming they're going to wear white on white with that helmet so they look like a white Bengal tiger.
Yeah, because the white jersey is clean.
Because, I'll say something about, like, the Bengals, I never think they look cool. Like, they now look classic because they've been around a long time. But they never look cool to me. This is the first time I saw an outfit and I went, that's a good look for you guys. That's a good look.
Their white jersey might be one of the best in the NFL in terms of like without having to be like the Packers. Something
the
classic.
White on white.
Yeah.
The white on white, but the helmet was always still that orange and black thing.
I could have sworn they wore it. I could have sworn
they
wore it for one at one time and then they had to pull it back because of the rule.
I'm in on this. So they're leading into we're cool now. A little bit.
Now have
I like it.
The Commanders were officially the first ones to come out with their third helmet, with the black helmet. We have the Texans now with a third helmet. The Bengals with a third helmet. I forget who else. I feel like one other team came out with another third helmet. But this is where the NFL was dumb back in the day, where they said, oh, you can only wear one helmet. And literally there were college studies saying one helmet doesn't affect anything in terms of concussions. Don't do this. And they did. And now all of a sudden they're going to cash in once again.
Everyone made fun of Oregon when they started doing this a long time ago. And they had like a different helmet all the time. And then it became a really cool thing that their uniform changed all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't think the NFL is going to go in that direction where all of a sudden the Cowboys have a different look every week. But throwing out the different looks as they're, all I can say is both the Texans, the Bengals, and what the Chargers are going to wear this year. If you see what they're going to wear this year. They look good.
The Rams are going to push the limits of all of it.
They've been continuously.
The Rams have outright said we will try to change our uniforms and add as many things as possible as the NFL lets us. All the time. They basically are saying we don't care about tradition. We are going to revamp as often as we can.
Good.
And I don't blame them for that. That's why they have the weird bone jersey.
We're in an interesting spot here now too with a rebrand that, like, obviously they're not going to change up what they've done, for a couple of years, but playing around with it as we go along once they get past whatever the moratorium of this new look is, I think would be interesting for the Commanders to think about. And hopefully they'll lean into some of that stuff too and have all different kinds of helmets and all different kinds of looks as we move forward.
In 10 years, when it's the 100th anniversary, I want them to wear a different jersey every game like the Bears did. The Bears did the same thing.
Do you want them to like throw back to all the different looks through the years? That's what you want, without a
without Native
the traditional
American imagery,
Redskins helmet.
Yeah,
right.
But you can still do the old 75th anniversary jersey that was a throwback to before with the stripes on the side and the yellow helmet.
Can you do the spear? I don't know if that's going to be.
You can still do something similar.
Could you do the one with the R? No, I don't think you could do that one either because that was in the circle with the feathers. I don't.
But you can still do the old Redskins jersey that they wore all the way up until last year with just the thick stripes on the side. You could do those. So
yeah, I think so.
There's a way to go about this. That you wear the dark burgundy ones with the crazy numbers too. There's ways you can do this.
I'm in. Okay. All right, let me take a quick break. Bram wants to show you at 6:30 Sports Capital.